awesome day of handball. Martin is still smiling over both his ears. You're coming fresh out of the arena. Just in one sentence, how was the handball day for you?
One to remember. One to remember, I would
Okay,
say.
okay,
We had three good games today. It's not only when I speak about the Danish one.
absolutely. And we are gonna analyze it in today's episode of The Spin We Talk Handball. So enjoy it, guys.
Ball across to Dylan. He double in flight. Oh, what a start!
Ooh, into the net.
She does it again. Yes.
Van Dijkenberg are the champions of Europe. To come up with something here. She has a game. Surprise the keeper. What a comeback!
It is time to talk handball again, and it was a great day of handball. I love to see it as we are recording today, right after the matches once again. And as I'm saying, it's me, Bengt Kunkel, joined by my fellow Danish friend, Martin Vilstrup. How's your endorphin level looking right now?
I would say it's pretty decent. Today, I was in the arena watching the games. Just came home, and I would say today I was a true fan. I was standing up and clapping and singing along and all that stuff. So it was a good game. Overall, a good day in the arena with a 1-goal win, 2-goal win, a 3-goal win. We will speak more about that, but it says a lot also about that main round. But I'm happy that the live effect is gone now. With me being in the arena that we lost. Denmark back on track is obviously good news, but also the other games today was tight and good.
Yeah, that's why I would say let's jump in there already and start with the first matchup here. Germany against Portugal. It was finally revenge time for Germany. They have been waiting a full year to come back to Portugal and beat them. But it was a close game. So it was a really, really tough one. Wasn't decided until the very last second. And last second is a good topic here, because we have to start with that one already. Because it was a weird situation. So Germany was leading 31-30, and then only 4 seconds left on the clock. And the ball it goes into the German goal. So Portugal scores. Germany wants to throw it off, but passes it to the front. So I think it was Justus Fischer standing in the area and passing it like straightly forward, but there was like 4 Portuguese players standing in the area as well. And Renas Ustjins took the ball, he got it, he scored 32-30, and everybody was just wondering, how can that be a goal? So how can that ball be thrown up front? But today a statement by the EHF was released as well, stating that this goal was irregular, but it wasn't due to VAR, because it wasn't a game-changing situation. So game-changing situations are things like 7-meter throws or a switch in possession, and that would not have happened. That's why, they couldn't review it, but in the end, it would not have changed the outcome of the game anyways.
I mean, you also said it. I can understand if Portugal is wondering how that's allowed, but on the other hand, how is it allowed to have 3 or 4 guys standing in that circle when throw-off is normally throw-off circle, or whatever you want to call it? So I mean, it's a tight one. It's full of emotions because every point and every goal counts in this main round group. But we obviously also trust the statements, and EHF have made one, and it's competitive people, whatever.
Yeah, and I mean, especially in that situation, it was a super hectic situation from both ends. And
exactly.
In the end, one can conclude it. Everyone in that situation made a mistake. So the mistake by the Portuguese was to stand in the opposing half and try to block the throw off in the circle. The mistake by Germany was to throw it up front, and the mistake by the refs was just to not whistle that back and do the throw off again. if they did that, the clock would have run out.
Yeah.
So then the time would have been over. It was a hectic situation, and eventually things like that just happen.
It happens. I mean, I would actually more like to focus on that it was a tough game. Also, I was looking forward to the German side. We know that their capacity and when it comes to physicals, they are very strong. And I also believe that even though with Itorica out, that Portugal is also a team that is, they don't skip gym. Let's put it like that. Two teams that knows how to go to the gym, and for me it's also nice to see that Gabriel Cavalcanti, who came in today instead of Itorica and had a big role also in defense together with Salvador and Luis Frade and Neves also in the Portuguese defense, but there was a lot of things going on throughout the game, but today also Wolf, he also showed up, and I think he had the double amount of saves that Portugal goalkeepers had. And it's just sometimes when Wolf, he puts that foot up in the air higher than he can get his arm, it looks so crazy. Like the way that he does it is, and especially on Antonio Herrera in the beginning had some free shots that Wolf just pulled off with saves. It's a little bit intimidating when he can when he pull off saves like that.
Talking about game-changing situations, Andy Wolf is a game-changing situation. So he has proven that today. Both defenses looked really, really good. I liked it from Germany, but I liked it from Portugal as well. Then let's look on the other side. Let's look on the offensive sides and start with a winning team there. Nils Lichtlein, he finally got his playing time, and he was doing good. He was leading the backcourt there.
Yeah, I think Nils Lichtlein is most often a positive contributions to the team, the way that he plays and his speed and these. He may not have the strongest shot, but he somehow shoots around the defense, and these kind of smart shots contributes with speed. And today also Miro Slurov also came in, and one goal that I remember was when the arm was up and there was no passes left, and he shot for I don't know how many meters, and Capdeville, maybe he thought that it would go in and then it went in. It's some kind of these small situations that give energy to the team and some kind of a boost, just like the saves from Wolves. But Lichtlein, very positive to see with him and Ushins playing together, two left-handers. It gives a little bit of a different flow compared to many teams that play with two right-handed. But that worked well today. That worked well.
It did. On the other hand, of course, Kiko Costa, always the talk. And I really liked a statement of the German commentator during that match today. Kiko Costa, 20 years ago, you would have put that guy on the wing. What do you say to that?
Yeah. I mean, when you look at his physical statement, he may not be the strongest one, but he's real. And I also actually believe it's his power. Sometimes in these duels he go like not more than 100%. He go for 1,000%, and you can see the intensity in his eyes. So I agree that also Nils Lichtlein would probably be a player. Tobias Gröndal, Kitzel, they would probably be wingers in the old days. So those Costa brothers got something in them there. At the moment you can see a player that he plays with confidence. You can tell. So it was two teams that came over with 2 points to the main round. Germany won this one, so it's all these games, tight games. It's kind of changed the way, or can you say the approach for the next game for one or the other team, because now Portugal lost, so they might go into the next one knowing that they need to win, and Germany put themselves in also a good position with 4 points now as the only team in that group.
Yeah, and I mean, technically, it already gives us funny constellations already, as now Portugal has lost to Germany but beat Denmark. What if Denmark beats Germany now? Then we are already in a three-way tie. Yeah. Then you can still mix France in there. So the constellations in this group, they will end up wild. I am seeing that coming already. But yeah, let's move on to the next one. Let's move on to the next game, because eventually it wasn't enough for Portugal. Germany won it by 2 goals, 30-30 final score. And the next game was played in between Norway and Spain. And who better could give us a first outlook on the game other than the fellow Norwegian Henny Reistad? She is there as an ambassador for Grundfos. Let's hear what Henny Reistad has to say about the game.
You are here with a special assignment. Can you tell us a little bit more about it?
Yes, I'm gonna give out the Best Player award after the game between Denmark and France.
Will this be the first time that you are giving the Player of the Match award and not receiving one?
Yes, definitely the first time. Yeah, so that will be exciting.
You are here with Grundfos because you are their ambassador. What does this role include, and how long have you been the ambassador?
This was something new, actually. Not for many months I've been the ambassador, so I'm really excited to have started it. And I feel like I like the things that I value in life or as a person really match what Grundfos also values in their work. So I think that was probably like the main reason to like have a
join the ambassadorship.
Yeah, yes, yeah. Exactly. So yeah, I think just what they do and their focus on sustainability is it's really impressive.
And just now you watched the match between Norway and Spain, and a thriller ending to the match, Norwegian victory. Were you jumping a lot on the stands?
Yeah, I definitely had like butterflies in my stomach. I get really nervous when the endings are like that. So, but I'm really glad that it turned out to be Norway who won.
If you look at the preliminary round, and if you look at this first match in the main round of Norway, how do you see their performance? How far they can go in the tournament?
Yeah, I think they've been performing good. I also feel like they have been better and better during the championship, and like that kind of development is always what you're searching for as a team. So, of course, I wouldn't say they're favorite to go to the semifinals, but I think they have like the team that can surprise, but you know, in a group with so many other good teams, it will be tough.
Yeah. And if we look at the young players, there is one name that is talk of the town, Patrick. So what do you think about him and his performance?
Yeah, I think like being thrown into the championship like that, having such a like important role in the team, I think he's managing really good and playing really like kind of looks experienced as well, being not that experienced. So yeah, I am really impressed.
Yeah, I feel like Grundfos could not choose a better ambassador for the MVP trophy than Henny Reistad, isn't it?
The MVP on the women's side handing over the MVP title. It makes sense, you know. She's outstanding. I saw her in the stands also today, and there was a lot of spectators wanting to take pictures with her, and she was willing to do it. So yeah, also a great personality to step up and willing to take pictures with the fans. So, but yeah.
Yeah, they do know her good in Denmark. That is for sure. But yeah, there's one more thing that she said. The talk in town, it's Patrick Andersson in the right back position. So how do you see his performance today?
Oh, maybe today was not the strongest performance by him throughout the championship, even though that I believe he did, you know, pretty decent. But there have been other games where I think he stepped up. But overall, I would like to say that I believe that, you know, taking that right back position, as surprisingly, if you can say it like that, with all the injuries they had, and you know, Ken Robin Tønnesen also saying that he needed a break, then I believe he's performing good at this championship, because the playing time for Aalborg is also not that much, with Mads Hoxer playing a lot for Aalborg. So for me, it's very positive. And then let's also have in mind he's only 21 years old. So it's a player for now for the Norwegian team, but also for the future. But in today's game, for me, there's only one MVP, and that needs to be August Pedersen. 11 goals, and I mean the last defensive action from him was unbelievable when he went in, and Spain were two men up. And I actually felt like from where I saw it in arena that the angle that Barofet he had was a good one. And I was like, okay, that's a good angle. You're going to shoot. And then they try the in-flight. And somehow finally a winger that's not sleeping in defense, August Pedersen, he was awake. And that was very good job. And also actually for the referees to go out and look at it VAR and make the right call. Because first of all, they whistled penalty and then they had to change it. So August Pedersen today, unbelievable.
The Grundfos player of the match, which you can always vote for in the Home of Handball app. So 15 minutes prior to the end of the game, the vote opens and you guys can give your vote to your MVP. And the MVP was given to Emil Nielsen in the Clash of the Titans, the one that, of course, we still need to have a look at. France faced Denmark, but you probably could not have argued against Emil Jakobsen as well.
Emil Jakobsen also came in, and I believe it was very important for Emil himself, and also in not only scoring from the wing and in counterattacks, but penalties, because Johan Hansen started off good with 2 goals, and then he missed. Emil, I think he scored 1, and then he missed again. It was like, oh no, last game Emil missed and Magnus Landin, so it's like, who's gonna shoot again? And there Emil stepped up, and today he performed very well. I also believe that maybe as Gitzel didn't have the usual Gitzel scoring percentages. I think he's just always a threat and always doing something. And he had his mistakes today. But Simon Pytlik, for me, is also a player I wanted to point out. But maybe he got an MVP at another game where he probably shouldn't have had it against Portugal. And then we don't need to speak more about that. But what I want to say about the game today is that I thought it was some kind of a war today. Maybe not the prettiest handball we have seen throughout the tournament, but you could see that it was 2 teams that played against each other a lot of times, and France having the lead in the first half, being up, Denmark bouncing back. Actually, at one point, they were leading 19-17, and then 2 minutes later, France was 2 goals up, and Nikolaj Jakobsen had to take a timeout. And it was bouncing back and forth, and Charles Bolzenger in the French goal did very well. They changed him, and by that time I was like, okay, maybe they changed him to put him back in, and I thought they should have. In the end, I don't know how many saves Remy Desbonnet had, if he had 1 or 2.
That's a topic I wanted to talk with you about as well, because we can just stay at it. Charles Bolzenger, he had a good first half. So the first half by him, he took out good saves. Start of the second half wasn't as good for him. So both goalkeepers in that phase didn't really get a hang of the game. Then they switched goalies. Remy Desbonnet even saving the first one. I think it was the 42nd minute. But that's it. Yeah. That was the last save that he had. So latest in like 53rd, 54th minute, do you have to switch goalies again?
I thought about it, but also because on penalties, because he had saved already 2, if I believe Charles Bolzenger. If it was it one from? No, it was not one from Remy. He had saved both. So I was also thinking about why don't you put him in? He already took 2, and especially also he took 1 from Emil Jakobsen. So that I thought a little bit about.
Especially when Emil Jakobsen started to run hot. So you could see him scoring from open field, and you could see him scoring from the line. And man, were his penalties massive. So they were just getting harder and harder with each one that he took. You had to change something there.
Yeah. And you could see it meant a lot to him, because today he was also giving a lot with his emotions and his attitude. And I also have to say the arena today was way better than it was against Portugal, because normally I say the Danish spectators are being too nice because you don't boo at people. It's not okay. But today they did. And, can you say whistled and stuff like that? I liked it in that sense. But Emil Jakobsen performed well. But I also have to say it's not a player that we speak a lot about in the Danish national team, but Lasse Andersen. He only scored 3 goals, but he came in defense and performed very well, and he played a lot of minutes also offensively, which
Yeah, I was just about to say that once that he came on, he stayed on. So
Exactly.
he was a perfect addition there to Gitzler and Pytlik as well. I mean, it was a good move to do something differently because in the first half, the backcourt wasn't working too perfectly.
Yeah.
But then, he gave something more into the game that wasn't there in the backcourt before.
For sure, and also just being able, to run with him whenever he was in defense, and sometimes Pytlik was on the left wing, so all the three backcourt players could run together. You didn't have to change anything, besides maybe a line player with Emil Jacobs or something like that. That gave, but Les Andersen also, we see it at Fischer Berlin. He has a shot, and he only scored 3 goals, but it was a very good times, and I also believe he got a offensive foul against him in the first half that was like, from my point where I saw it, okay, it could maybe also have been whistled different, but overall, Les Andersen did good, came in, and that was great to see, because I don't believe it's that many minutes he had as a playmaker, because it was not as the left back position that we normally see him at when he changed with Simon Pytlik, but I mean, 21 goals in second half from Denmark, and also 17 from France. It was, in that sense, it was two different first half.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, first half and second half. Because in the first half, after the 30 minutes, I was like, that's a low-scoring game. But they came after it. They came after it. But what a war today! I have to say, I like the energy in the game between the two teams, and the tackles, and Carl Conan also quickly got two minute suspensions. And
that is true. There's one more player that I want to talk with you about. Actually, one that we do talk a lot about in this podcast. But today he didn't seem to be the decisive factor. Dika Mem is the one that I'm talking about. Right back of France. He went for 3 out of 8, and he was even subbed off in like the 40th minute. So then it was Mervyn Richardson taking over, and that was the time where France actually took the lead, where they were leading and were a little bit in control. And then at first I thought, oh wow, what a luxury problem to have a Dika Mem sitting on the bench and coming in fresh and rested in the 55th minute, but he didn't have impact then either. So 1 or 2 shots that he tried to take, like from free throws, but that didn't look like it. They were shot with full confidence.
No. Normally, I would say if that's a thing, Dika Mem is the best player to have when the arm is up and there's a free throw and 4 guys from your own team stand. He can do some magic where you don't expect it, but I also believe he may only came in because Melvin Richardson got Rasmus Lauke got a 2-minute suspension for a push in the back or from the side at Melvin Richardson, and he got a small hit, and then they changed him, and then that's where Dika Mem actually came in, because before that, I would say Denmark scored, but quickly after, when they went high on the field with the defense, Min and Briere, they created some problems for France, especially Min today. I think he played the best game
for
he had.
Denmark.
He created problem.
For Denmark,
yeah. Sorry. Created problems for Denmark. But yeah, Dika Mem was not at the best today. As you said, 3 goals on 8 shots, and also spending a lot of minutes on the bench. We will probably see Dika Mem being on fire for the next one. Usually, you don't see 2 bad games in a row from Dika Mem, but today there were other people stepping up, and that's also what French can do with all the quality players.
Yes, that is true, and I do think so too, that we are going to see a changed Dika Mem in the upcoming matches, because they will need him. France and Denmark, they are on level terms now, so both have 2 points. Both still want to reach the semi-final, and if both of them win the rest of their games, they will. But let's see. The competition is strong in main round group 1 as we are headed into main round group 2 today. So enjoy that, everyone. And Martin.
No, it's just it's a group where I believe everyone can beat everyone. Actually, there are gonna be teams now. Germany is on 4 points, but I will be surprised if they also don't lose a game against somebody else, So it's gonna be a mix as we have it now. Spain is the only one without points.
The constellations are so wild now, and Spain the only ones without a point now. and even them, technically, so it doesn't look too good. But just look at all of them stealing their points from each other. If Spain goes flawless, there's still a chance. So they need to do their homework now. They gave it away out of their hands. That is true. But we'll see how all of that will develop. It's fun. It's a great tournament. It's great to see what we already said, that everybody can beat everyone. And so will we see it today in main round group 2. So enjoy watching it, everybody, and catch you around tomorrow when it's time to talk handball again.
Ball across to Dylan Nahi, double in flight. Oh, what a start!
Into the net.
She does it again.